All right, here we go. So welcome everyone. My name is Meredith Dooney and I'm the program coordinator for the Lawrence Library in Pepperell. And I am so thrilled and honored to have Lynne Archambault with us tonight. She is a certified fitness instructor and personal trainer. I've actually had the pleasure of working out at her beautiful facility, Arch Fitness in Pepperell. Not as many times as I'd like because I ended up, long story. I won't go on to that, injuries and whatnot. But yeah, she is a physical education and wellness teacher with a master's in health and wellness. She owns a group fitness facility, Arch Fitness in Pepperell. And Lynne's passion is to bring awareness and show the importance of living a healthy lifestyle while keeping people motivated on how to do this, which is the tricky part, right? So Lynne, I'll let you take it away and you can kind of tell us a little bit more about you and how you might be able to help us with our immune systems. I feel like this is such a timely topic. So yeah. Can't wait to hear what you have to say.
I agree. And thank you very much, Meredith, for having me. It's an honor to be speaking with everybody. And I'm glad to see we have quite a few participants because half the battle is kind of starting that process of learning how to build a healthy body. So, and I'm going to encourage your questions, please. I'll probably have, because it's so tricky with Zoom, and usually I'm standing and interacting with people, but because we have Zoom, I'll try to go through a few things and then I encourage your questions at the end. If you have something that's really vital, Meredith will be watching the chat and we can do that from there. But I'm going to try to share my screen right now. Okay. Okay, here we go. Can everybody see okay? Meredith, how does that look?
Looks good.
Okay, great. Okay, so building your immune system. I mean, the past couple years, if there's ever been a time where it's become very apparent that our immune system is super important, is now. Our health is absolutely a priority. It's critical to stay healthy. And there are a few very easy ways to do this. It doesn't have to be, intense or mind-boggling. So we're just going to go over a few things that you can do very easily to build your natural immune system. One thing that I think is so amazing is the human body. If you think about it, I remember my nephew broke his arm and immediately the bones start to want to go together to heal. Your body is amazing. So if we treat our body well, it wants to be healthy. The body truly wants to be healthy. So the first thing that we can do to build your immune system naturally is drinking lots of water. Seems simple. And by the way, one thing that I struggle with, drinking lots of water. That's been my goal the past couple of years, and I've done a much better job of it. I actually got COVID a few weeks ago, and I drank a lot of water, and I do think it helped me. But it's a natural way to flush out the toxins out of your body. We are made up mostly of water, so it's very important. And I mean, growing up, we never really drank much water. We'd play sports and we wouldn't even bring a water bottle to school or sports, but we found so important. So that is critical. I would recommend, some experts recommend almost a gallon a day. To me, that's like really, really hard. To lose weight, a lot of people suggest a gallon a day. For me, that's hard. I focus on trying to get my 8 glasses in a day. So that's important. Another important thing to build our immune system is to take supplements. In the past, when I was younger, I I was one of these people. I'm like, no, I don't believe in supplements. I can get whatever I need out of the food I eat, etc. But unfortunately, the food we eat isn't always the best. And especially with COVID, we have discovered some interesting things. Number one, most of the people that actually died of COVID had a vitamin D3 level of less than 40. Most of the people in our country are vitamin D3 deficient. It's a very important vitamin. It helps with your immune system, but not just that. It helps with anxiety, depression, and just your overall health. As you know, vitamin D3 comes from the sun. We always feel better when we've gotten a little sun. There's just something about it. And it's because it naturally lifts your spirits, really. But D3 is also super important for your immune system. So when you have your next physical at your doctor, you should have them test that. It's a simple blood test with all your other tests, and find out what that is. Pretty much almost everybody in New England especially should be taking a vitamin D3 supplement. And it's good to take, if you're going to take a supplement, buy good supplements. Perhaps go to a specialty store and look into it, because there are some that are not as good as others. There are some that are just better quality. And that's what you want to look into. I take vitamin D3 drops. Now, I was taking a multivitamin myself, and I'm out in the sun a lot for school, and I had my vitamin D checked and it was 38, which is not great. I mean, if you go to a normal doctor, they'd be like, oh, that's sufficient, but it really isn't sufficient. You want it to be over 40. So that's one thing. Vitamin C is certainly, as you all know, very important to prevent you from getting sick anytime, especially now. Zinc is another thing that we should take. Taking zinc, though, you don't want to take it on an empty stomach. It can upset your stomach, can make you a little nauseous. It makes me nauseous. I like to take that with food, but especially they're saying that zinc really helps with COVID, helps to have milder symptoms and possibly even to prevent it. So zinc is a good thing to take for the flu, colds, anything like that. Fish oil. If you don't take fish oil, this is something you should look into. Not only is it great for your immune system, but it really is good for your overall skin, your joints, your hair, nails. It's just really good for your whole body. And again, you want to get a good quality fish oil. There are some that people say, oh, I don't want to burp up fish, but I've never done that. I take fish oil, and if you buy a good quality fish oil, that's not going to happen. And a multivitamin. Take a multivitamin. So supplements are pretty important, and I've seen this myself from before supplements, having a blood test and seeing my levels of different things, and then taking supplements for a period of time and seeing the difference. It does make a difference. And that's extremely important. Exercise daily. This is a big one for me, obviously, but not the biggest one, but we'll talk about this. Getting exercise every single day. Does that mean intense exercise every day? No, it doesn't. But you should get exercise every single day. Sitting around just does a number on your immune system. Getting exercise in, it just really gets the body moving. It helps the body to do what it's supposed to do. Exercising in the fresh air outside is even better because you're also getting that vitamin D. But like I said, it doesn't have to be, an intense CrossFit type workout. It could be taking a walk, but do it daily and find something you like to do, riding a bike, swimming, walking, and do it every day, or try to do it every day, or mix it up even better with other things. But exercise is understated, of course. This is something else that people don't talk about: sleep. Sleep is super important. It's the time when your body heals. Okay. You should be sleeping a minimum of 6 hours per day. I teach high school students. I cannot tell you how many kids tell me I got 4 hours of sleep last night. And they're exhausted. Teenagers need way more sleep. They probably need 8 to 10. We need 6 to 8. And we don't get it. We're sleep deprived. We're a sleep deprived nation. So here are some things that can help you get some sleep. Exercise, number one, is a way to get better sleep because you're using your body. It's tired. It wants to sleep. It will help you sleep. So exercise is really important. That's not on my list, but drinking caffeine in the afternoon is a really bad idea if you want good sleep. If you have like a coffee in the afternoon to keep you going, you'll get tired at night and fall asleep, but then you'll probably wake up in the middle of the night and be sort of like wired. That's a major problem. Also, another issue I see with teenagers all the time is they drink a lot of coffee and it really affects them. Or it could be Monster drinks or Red Bulls, any kind of soda, any kind of caffeine is a problem for sleep. There are a lot of sleep apps available on your phone or your iPad. There's meditation and sleep apps that are good that, sometimes they have bedtime stories, or they actually work. I could never get through. I tried, couldn't even get through one. I tried several times, the same one, couldn't get through it. It's supposed to make you fall asleep. There's meditation apps, relax type apps. Those are kind of some fun things to do. Meditation, if you don't want to download an app, you can actually go on YouTube even and put in 5-minute meditation or 10-minute meditation. Meditation is, doesn't have to be something that's strict and a set thing. Meditation can just be sitting by yourself in a quiet area and just kind of relaxing. Meditation is a time to clear your mind, and that helps to get some sleep. One thing I think probably where most of us are guilty of is technology or social media right before bed. I know that I'm guilty of that, and I've tried to stop that because sometimes I'll read something and I'll get all revved up and I just get, and I get frustrated. And that's not a good way to go to bed either. So that should be something that you avoid, maybe half hour to an hour before bed, just nothing, no technology, kind of just wind down. Warm showers help also, but just kind of being quiet and relaxed before bed. Hot drinks, but not caffeine. Warm drinks help. But sleep is super important for your immune system. Critical. Okay. So now we're moving into probably a longer version of my presentation here. This, to me, out of everything, and I'm a fitness instructor, out of everything you can do for your health, eating is probably what you eat is probably the most critical. So we're going to look at this quote, Hippocrates: "Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food." I love that quote. And why should we look at healthy eating today? The human cost: more than 1 in 10 adults who are 20 years or older has type 2 diabetes. More than 1 in 10. That's a lot. More than 40% of Americans have a chronic disease. This is all from the CDC. Malnourishment, meaning not like too skinny. I mean, malnourishment meaning getting not enough nourishment, causes brain functioning issues, including depression, anxiety, and emotional issues. I see this a lot in high school kids, and we'll talk about that more. Malnourishment causes poor physical performance. Obviously, that kind of makes sense, right? You're just not getting enough nutrition and things start going wrong in your body. It also causes poor mental performance, lack of focus, hyperactivity, brain fog. Those have all been proven that they correlate directly with food and some additives in food. The financial cost. We spent $47 trillion fighting chronic disease around the world. 75%. Now this actually, I wrote this before COVID. I don't know what it is now, because I do know that metabolic disease has increased with our COVID. It's not just COVID, it's people not or being less active or gaining weight. 75% of our healthcare costs go to treating metabolic disease. That's a lot. Diabetes and chronic disease. More than 2 in 3 adults are considered overweight or have obesity. In 2 decades, it's estimated that 95% of us will be overweight. By 2030, 50% of Americans will have cancer. Obesity is the leading cause of diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. As a country, however, it's a super sensitive subject. It hurts people's feelings. They don't want to be called overweight. We've been trained to feel like being overweight is our fault. Some people will call us lazy, inactive, and have no willpower, but that's not true. It's not our fault. There are a lot of factors to consider. Let's skip ahead a little bit and go to nutrition and depression, because this is a big topic nowadays. We have a lot of anxiety and depression in the world. I see it more and more with young people. Few people are aware of the connection between nutrition and depression. Well, they easily understand the connection between nutritional deficiencies and physical illness. So you can see the physical side, but a lot of people don't know that nutrition is directly correlating with depression. Depression is more typically thought of as strictly biochemical based or emotionally rooted, which it can be, but it can play a role in the onset as well as the severity and duration of depression. Nutritional neuroscience is an emerging discipline, shedding light on the fact that nutritional factors are intertwined with human cognition, behavior, and emotions. A notable feature of the diets of patients suffering from mental disorders is the severity of deficiency in these nutrients. When scientists have taken a close look at the diet of depressed people, there's an interesting observation that their nutrition is far from adequate. And the most common deficiencies of mental disorders are that of omega-3 fatty acids, B vitamins, minerals, and amino acids. Okay, so those things also can be helped with supplements. And actually, there was a study that they did a study on inmates, and they showed that when inmates actually were fed a really healthy, clean diet, that their violence reduced by 56%. And then when they were added a supplement or a multivitamin to that healthy diet, the violence decreased by 84%, which is amazing. I wanted to just show you guys an example of what is happening in the world right now at high school level. So this is actually a freshman. I know the penmanship is horrible, but this is just a typical, I have the kids in my fundamentals of fitness class, freshman class, do a food journal for a week. I tell them they're not graded on what they eat. They're graded on if they fill it out, how they fill it out. And I literally pretty much have tears in my eyes every time I grade these, because on 90% of these food journals, it's pretty appalling. Let's just look at this one right here. Breakfast, hash browns, bacon, eggs. That's not bad. Lunch, grilled cheese, cheeseburger for dinner. Tuesday, a cheeseburger, chips for a snack. Grilled chicken Caesar salad for lunch. No breakfast, no lunch. No breakfast, no lunch. That was for dinner. Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal for breakfast, no lunch, cheese pizza, Friday, cinnamon toast crunch, grilled cheese, chicken BLT, cinnamon toast crunch, pizza, mac and cheese, pancakes, mac and cheese. Not one fruit or vegetable in the entire week. Not one. All processed foods. Same thing with this one. No breakfast, which is very common for teenagers and probably adults too. And that's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, there's a lot of studies right now. You guys have probably heard of intermittent fasting, where you don't eat for a while after you wake up. So not the end of the world, but let's look at lunch. Pizza, cheeseburger, 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 pizza, chicken wings, pizza. Probably school lunches. You know, we try, and I love the ladies who work in our lunch, but they can only do what they can do. For dinner, raviolis, pasta, none. 20-piece McNuggets, large fried cheeseburger, none. Pizza and cake, rice and steak. And as you can see, the snacks are pretty terrible too. Not one fruit or vegetable in a whole week. Unfortunately, 90% of the kids have the same exact situation. We are now a society of malnourished people. So when I see kids that are tired and they can't focus, it is not a surprise to me. What has caused this shift? We've become a society where food's no longer a celebration, it's a commodity. Where once we based our days around gathering together for a home cooked meal, our priorities have shifted, and now we try to find foods quick foods to satisfy. So, I mean, I remember being little and my grandmother and my mother, you know, making us food, making us a big dinner. And that's what we did, especially like on the weekends. If we'd go visit, like my grandmother would cook, my mother cooked for us almost every night. I'm super lucky about that. But a lot of people don't have that. They have both working parents, and they're super busy, and then they're going to soccer practice, and we're dropping this here and there. Just grab McDonald's, grab a pizza. That's how it is. And the big food industry has made it convenient and cheap to eat processed foods. So it's crazy, because you think about it, we have more gym memberships now. Almost everybody has a gym membership. So many people have gym memberships. When I was young, my parents didn't have gym memberships. Well, maybe my father played racquetball, but you know, that didn't happen. But people were way thinner. Why is that? It's interesting, because we're exercising more. We're told, oh, we need to exercise. We need to exercise. We are exercising more than ever before. So why is this happening? All calories are not created equal. Exercise is not the best weight loss solution. Childhood cases of type 2 diabetes have exploded. In 1980, there were 0 type 2 cases of diabetes in children. And now there are tens of thousands, maybe more, of type 2, not type 1, type 2. In 1977, this was a game changer. What happened was this report, this called the McGovern report, went through our government, and it was basically telling us that Americans are getting heavier and we need to watch for heart disease, and we're getting fatter, etc. And we need to reduce sugar. But the big food, sugar companies freaked out, and they got really, really upset, and they blocked that. So what they did with the report was they said that we needed to reduce the fat in our food. So there was a huge thing, and you guys all know this: low fat, low fat, low fat. All the food started to become low fat. Well, when you're eating fat-free or low fat, it doesn't taste as good. So what happens? They were adding sugar to make it taste better. So taking out the fat, adding the sugar. The thing is, fat doesn't make you fat. Sugar makes you fat. And sugar shows up in a lot of sneaky places. If you look on something that has a label, we all read labels now. or you should. If you look at your ingredients label, you won't see a dietary guideline for sugar. They lobbied that. They don't have to put that on there. As adults, we should only have about 24 to 32 grams of sugar per day. Sugar is a drug. It's 8 times as addictive as cocaine. Unfortunately, in schools, some things qualified as health food, which it isn't, like sugary snacks, like those fruit snacks. That's not fruit. So this is the thing. They push their business. They have their own agenda, and it's to make money. So, for example, we said, okay, an adult should have 24 to 32 grams of sugar per day, added sugar per day. Well, if you have a can of Coke at lunch, that has 39 grams of sugar in it. So there's your sugar for the day. So anything else on top of that, what happens when sugar hits your body? And by the way, this actually goes for like white breads and pastas, things like that. Inside your body immediately turns to sugar because it's energy. Those are carbohydrates. So it turns to sugar. And when your body is not using that energy immediately, which, we can't possibly burn as adult, that's a lot of sugar to burn off. What does it get stored as? It gets stored as fat. So there are so many diets out there right now. I mean, that's always the trendy thing. Do we do keto? Do we do paleo? Do we do, what are some of the other ones? Weight Watchers. Do we do this? Do we do that? All these fad diets. When in fact, it's very simple, and we kind of know really the answer if we really think about it. Processed foods aren't good for you. If you just eat real food, if most of the food that's going into your body has been grown or alive at some point in the ocean or on the land, then it's a real food. It doesn't have to have an ingredient label because it's real. Your body recognizes it. The foods that are terrible for us are the processed foods that you find in boxes and that you heat up and things like that. Processed foods are high in sugar. They add sugar in it. They make it hyper rewarding so that you want to eat more. So it becomes addictive. They have chemicals that your body cannot process properly. So sometimes it goes haywire. Lack of focus, brain fog, hyperactivity. They're low in nutrients. They're low in fiber. They're high in fats. Less time to digest, so less work for your body and less calories needed to burn. So a lot of times I'll hear people say, oh, I can't have that. I can't have that banana because it has too much sugar. But they'll go and eat a protein bar. And I'm like, what? With all this processed stuff in it. And I'm thinking, no, that's not how it works, because your body loves that natural food. Yes. Does it have sugar in a banana? Yes, it does. If you eat 3 bananas a day, that could be a problem. But it also has fiber and those micronutrients that you need. What happens if we eat real healthy food? Day 1, you have reduced levels of hunger because eating healthy equals eating more. You can eat more when you eat healthy food, and you have greater mental clarity. Week 1, increased energy levels, better sleep, better mood, less bloating. We all know about that. No one likes to be bloated. Month 1, glowing skin. You actually save money. A lot of people say, oh, it's expensive to eat healthy. Well, it's actually also expensive to buy Oreos and ice cream and Doritos and all kinds of snacks. That's expensive too. Your metabolism starts to speed up when you eat real food. It becomes more of a habit. 6 months, sorry, mom, more intense sex. I don't know. I wish my mother didn't hear that. Lower blood pressure, reduced medications, stronger bones, weight loss, and happiness. And it happens naturally and normally. So you're not dropping all this weight. I mean, all these diets, they do help you lose weight, but guess what? 95% of the people gain it back. So it needs to be a lifestyle change. So I'd like to challenge all of you to boost your immune system more than anything else. Try a 30 days of eating real food and get rid of sugar and processed food from your diet and see what happens. Food is what brings us together. So it nourishes our body, it calms our spirits. Food's often the center of many celebrations and family get-togethers. We should be happy when we eat. It shouldn't be painful. It shouldn't be guilt-ridden. It should be something that you enjoy, but you eat the right way. So one thing I try to teach my high school kids is to cook your own meals. And I actually make them cook one, and they have to do a project. They have to cook their own meal. Involve your family in planning, shopping, prepping, and cooking. But cooking home cooked meals is one of the best ways to get healthy. It truly is. I wanted to read this letter quickly. We're good on time. So I wanted to read this letter quickly. I found this to be very sad. After this was from one of my students after taking the class. After this course, I plan to increase the time I spend on my health and fitness significantly. When I am able, I plan to lift weights and run on our family's treadmill in order to better my health. I plan to do this because as of now, my time in this class leaves me exhausted, disoriented, and struggling to focus. Due to this, I will try my best to continue building my endurance, keep myself in shape. When it comes to diet, I plan to try salad, which I never have. How sad is that? Incorporate it into my diet, as well as eat more broccoli as a snack because it's rarely a part of my dinner. Every day, I either eat a bag of all-natural freeze-dried strawberries or I eat a Dunkin' Donuts strawberry frosted donut. I hope to, over time, and after all I've learned, transition to only eating freeze-dried strawberries. Most nights, I either eat pizza or McDonald's. And after hearing about the properties of processed foods, I hope to incorporate healthier dinners into the food I eat every day. By doing these things, I hope to better my energy levels, mind power, and health, as well as my day-to-day quality of life. To me, that just struck me because I'm like, we're doing such a disservice to our kids. Pizza, McDonald's every night, like that's sad. It's just, what are we doing? It just, I don't know. That really struck me. But that is, hold on, it from my slideshow. So I want to just come back so you guys can see me. And if you have any questions, please ask away, any comments, any questions, please go ahead. I'm open to that. Just make sure you take yourself off mute.
There are a few questions in the chat.
Okay, great.
So I don't know if you want to scroll up or if I can read them to you, but Susan Edwards had a couple of questions.
Okay. If you don't mind, I can't see them for some reason. So if you don't mind reading.
Yeah, no problem. So the first question was, does drinking lots of water flush out electrolytes and vitamins? In other words, can you drink too much water?
You can. There have been cases of, for example, like people running the marathon trying to drink too much water to stay hydrated. You have to make a concerted effort to drink too much water. I mean, yes, you can drink too much water and it can make you very ill, but you have to drink a lot of water to drink too much water. So I just try to keep a water bottle with me all the time and refill it when I can. That's the best way to do it. To drink too much water, you have to be sitting there like drinking a lot of water. So I think just use common sense in that way. But yes, that has been true and people have been sick that way, drinking too much.
She also asked, can you ingest too much D3? A friend was low in D3, did the drops and ended up with a problem. And then someone else commented it might have been kidney stones.
So D3, yes, you can probably ingest too much. That's why you should be tested periodically. But like I said, it's actually very rare for someone, unless they're taking a supplement, to have too much vitamin D. D3. So I would suggest, I'm not a doctor, but you could have your self-tested to see how much it is, but I don't think it hurts unless you normally have a problem taking one without even having it be tested, as long as you take what's on the supplement, what they say to take. Now, I went over because my doctor recommended it. So for me, I think the normal dosage on mine was maybe 1,000 nanograms or 2,000 nanograms per milliliter. And I was taking 5. And that's what he told me to take, or 5 drops. So that, brought me up higher, but that's what I needed. So obviously, yes. I mean, you can take a D3 supplement, but I do suggest always, the blood test super easy when you get your cholesterol, your regular blood work, they should be testing that too. And I would ask them to test that.
Somebody else asked about the D drops, if you have a brand that you recommend. And I'm wondering if actually, maybe what you might want to do is put together a list, and I can always just shoot an email out to everyone if you have a list of favorites that you use.
Sure, I can do that. I can send you that, Meredith, if that's easier, and then you could just email it out.
Yeah, I can just email it out to people. And actually that brings me, there's a few other questions here, but I'm going to just chime in with one of my own really quick, because when you were talking about zinc, I remember seeing a lot of the different options when you go to a vitamin store or health food store or whatever. And I don't know what it means or what the difference is between zinc, gluconate and sulfate and citrate and all the different, I don't know what that means. So how do you choose a supplement?
So when I have a chelated zinc that I took when I was sick, but I don't like taking zinc. Like I said, it doesn't make me feel good. Some people have an easier time with it. One thing I did do was I took some elderberry, I'm trying to think of I'll try to find out and send that in the link too, but I took elderberry with zinc, and that I really enjoyed. But are you talking about magnesium when you say citrate and the different
No, I'm talking about zinc.
Zinc.
But yeah, maybe, but I know a lot of those different vitamins have that second word attached to it, and I don't know what it means,
Yeah, there are different meanings to it. So what I really would recommend is, if you are interested in taking supplements, I would go to a vitamin store and I would talk to them about it. Usually the people are really good about recommending a certain thing and what you're looking for. But yeah, you should, because a lot of them do have different versions. Like D, you can take a D, but you want to take D3 for this particular thing. But yeah, so I would definitely go and ask, wherever, Vitamin Shop or whatever. I go through, my friend is a health and wellness coach, and she has a website, and I buy my stuff through there. I know it's really high quality. So she's my source for that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah, I would recommend getting an opinion about that.
Yeah, I know there's the Groton Natural Market too, which
that's a great place too. They're really knowledgeable there.
So here's another one. Susan Edwards asked, for sleep, I started wearing blue filter reading glasses when I do my online puzzle right before bed. I think it helps. What do you think about the blue light filtering glasses if you're addicted to puzzles on your iPad before you go to sleep?
I think that's great. And actually, I kind of feel so the blue light I think is great. And I think puzzles, for me, actually, sometimes before bed, I will do, I play words with friends. That's like a puzzle to me sometimes, but it's kind of just a relaxing thing. That's not really a rev up sort of thing. I think that's a relaxing practice and something that's really good to do. That's kind of different. And the blue light, that's great. That's supposed to help.
Joanne Smith is asking also again about supplements, vitamins. recommended, what's recommended for our age, weight, etc.
Mhm, mhm.
So
Yes. So, I definitely think that I'm not an expert on that. I mean, I do a lot with it, but I don't want to give a lot of advice on that because I am not an expert, but I do know that that's something you should talk to your doctor about, and it's really important to do that because we just get depleted. We get depleted over time, and with age, we do. So it's something we need to keep up on, for sure. So I would again recommend talking to your doctor or going to a vitamin place and talking to them about your concerns or what you want to work on. But C and D super common, zinc super common too. You can get it at anywhere. Yeah, but I mean, it is important because we aren't getting all the nutrition we need from food because we're Americans and we're human beings and we don't always eat vegetables at every meal. So
who else has a question? Oh, wait a second. There might be more in the chat here. I had to jump up for the oven, which I don't typically have to do when I'm at the library. Okay. Okay. So Jean, I'm sorry, I don't know if it's Jean or Jeannie, is saying that D3 and vitamin A are fat soluble, so it can harm the liver.
if it's extreme amounts, that's why I definitely recommend that a blood test. Yeah, to see.
Okay.
Like I said, under 40 is not really a good place to be right now because that is proving that it's kind of a risky area to be in. You want to be a little above 40.
Above 40
nanograms per milliliter.
Yeah, okay, got it. All right. So you touched on the food, right? And so do you have an opinion on conventional versus organic produce?
Yes. So I try to buy organic as much as I can. When we talk about expensive, that's when things can get a little pricey. So there's a list that if you Google it, it's called the Dirty Dozen. And those are the fruits and vegetables, I believe, that are the most contaminated. And those are the ones that you want to try to buy organic whenever possible. So the Dirty Dozen. I believe apples are on the list, strawberries, but there's things like that. Mostly, things that are highly treated with pesticides. So they'll call them the Dirty Dozen. And those are the ones you want to focus on trying to buy organic. We can't always buy organic everything, but if we focus on that to kind of reduce it, I think that's super helpful. But yes, I do try to buy organic as much as I possibly can. Mm-hmm. Because even if you wash your fruits and vegetables, if it's been treated with chemicals, think about it. It's leaching into the food. So
the conventional still has the same sort of vitamin content. It's just that it's also got the addition of the pesticides.
It
right?
has the addition. Yes, it has the addition of the pesticides. So,
right.
Although there's different things to read about with that, and then we get into like genetically modified and different things. But I mean, some people say that our fruits and vegetables in the United States are really, depleted of nutrients, whether it's from the soil or what we're treating them with. And I have to say that about 3 years ago, when I went to Germany, every time I had a fruit or vegetable, I was like, this taste was just amazing. And they don't use as many pesticides as we use. So I almost wonder but I don't know enough about that. But I have read things about that they are being depleted. Conventional versus organic. If you can, go with the organic for sure.
All right, awesome. Paul asks, Lynn, if you have sleep apps for bedtime and stories that you recommend, could you list them as well?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to write this down. So I will list some sleep apps.
And then Elizabeth asks, do you recommend taking a probiotic?
I do actually recommend taking a probiotic. And that's another one that you want to make sure you get a good probiotic, because if you just get any probiotic off the shelf, they're not all equal. So a really good probiotic is one that you have to refrigerate. So that's kind of important to keep in mind. So do your research on the probiotics. But probiotics are important because with all the bad foods we've eaten over the years and all the antibiotics we've been treated with over the years and our use of Motrin and Tylenol and Advil and all that stuff, we've caused leaky gut in a lot of us, and the bad bacteria. With antibiotics, the bad bacteria goes, but so does the good bacteria. And we need that to have a healthy gut. So I do recommend a probiotic. I actually am terrible. I don't take one, but I have at different times have taken one. But it is a good thing to do for sure.
Excellent. Jennifer McGowan actually dropped an image with the Dirty Dozen.
Oh, awesome.
So
thank you, Jennifer.
There. Yep. And Joanne asks if you happen to know of any local apple orchards that do less pesticides or are organic.
Right. So I know, and I hate to, like, I love shopping local, but I think a lot of the local ones there, I did look in Groton. I can't remember the name of it now, but there is one in Groton when I searched for organic apples. There was in Groton. It's up on the hill. It's over near, kind of near the high school, but I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, you're going to have to probably just search. But yeah, local, it's terrible because I love fall and apples. They do have a lot of pesticides. They really do. And Hollis has it's a high cancer area too. That's where a lot of apple orchards are. But
Autumn Hills, Trina says Autumn Hills.
Autumn Hills, that's where we went. Sorry, yes.
Elizabeth asks, what is your opinion on eating red meat?
So I was vegan for almost 3 years. And for me, I wasn't at my best at that point. I did some reading on blood types and, what they should be eating. And I don't know. For me, I stick with really healthy. If I'm going to eat meat, it's going to be healthy. It's going to be grass-fed and organic. Okay, so that's super important. Grass-fed beef, I do eat. I won't eat conventional beef. Some people get mad at me about that, but I don't want beef that's been treated with antibiotics and jacked up, because if they feed the cows grain to fatten them up, the cows get sick, the cows need antibiotics, and it's being injected in them, and then we're eating it. I don't like that. So.
And probably you probably have a similar opinion of dairy, I'm guessing.
I don't eat dairy.
Okay.
So
someone was asking about dairy, and that we have local raw milk at Cloverluck Farm.
Yeah. If you're going to eat dairy, I do recommend like raw and whole. Like if you're going to drink milk, drink whole milk. Raw milk's a great option. I know they have that at Kimball's, I believe, and some local places. I know the Barn Door, I think, does too. Local places around have that. That's great. But you know what? Don't drink low-fat milk. There's no need for that. You need the fat to make you feel satisfied. When you drink low-fat, it's not giving you that full feeling, and then you're just going to eat something else. So my position is, if you're going here's a good example. So I was shopping one day and I bumped into my mother and my grandfather at the store, and my grandfather was buying Yoplait yogurt. And I grew up on yogurt, but we always ate plain yogurt. So he was buying Yoplait yogurt, you know what the ones I'm talking about with the fruit in them, strawberry maybe. So the thing with that is you think you're doing yourself a favor eating Yoplait yogurt. But Yoplait yogurt has just as much sugar in it as a Hershey's candy bar, like the big one, the big Hershey candy bar. So that's the thing. If you're going to eat yogurt to be healthy, then make sure it's whole, it's plain, and you add your own fruits or nuts or seeds or whatever you want to add to it. Because the ones that they make for you, they have a ton of sugar. And that's what I mean when I say it's tricky. Like they're adding stuff we don't know. We think we're doing a healthy thing. And it's like sabotage.
All right, there's a lot of comments here. So, oh, the old frog pond in Harvard. That's good to know.
The apple.
Go there for organic apples.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great to know.
Okay. Yeah, life is just not the same without cheese. I know.
I know it's true, but there are some really good nut cheeses out there. There really are. I've been dairy free for probably like 13, 14 years. The only thing I miss is pizza. I do miss pizza. Nothing else though. You get adjusted to it.
Yeah, I imagine you do adjust. Yeah, I'm reading here the Nordic SKYR yogurt is less sugar and more protein and more probiotics. So
great.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, yogurt is, if you do dairy, yogurt is really healthy. It does have some really good things in it. I actually have bought some, I believe it's cashew or dairy. I mean, cashew yogurt. That's really good.
Cashew cream. Yeah, I've used cashews in soup, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's kind of got like a tahini kind of consistency.
Yeah.
Elizabeth says, my father-in-law had a stroke at the end of 2020. His doctor advised him to switch to a Mediterranean diet, and after a year, he was told his health has never been better.
Yes. So Mediterranean diet is basically eating real food. They eat real food, just vegetables. Mediterranean diet is not a heavy meat diet either, but they do eat meat, just not in huge amounts. Most of the part of the meal are vegetables of different kinds. So, that's the key. And it's the key to keeping our kids healthy. And, what I tell the kids in high school is if you start thinking about that, then maybe when you have kids, you'll do better, because I feel like my generation, we just didn't know. We were giving our kids crappy stuff because we just thought, oh, that's just what you do. And then when you know better, you're like, well, when you know better, you do better. So.
Does anyone else have any questions? Anybody want to unmute or?
I see Susan saying Upswing Farm, and actually I got a share there this year and I really enjoyed it. It was fantastic. They're right on Brookline Street.
Brookline, yeah.
In Pepperell, and I got a share there, and they're great.
I just want to say you can buy retail as well on Thursdays at 4 p.m. when they're in the growing season. So if you have a small family, you don't have to feel like you necessarily have to buy a whole share, that they do sell retail as well.
Susan is that Susan? Oh, that's Jean. Where is that? Do they have it Thursdays there at the farm?
Yeah, you go up to one of the greenhouses, or like in the summer, it was actually out on tables. And they will weigh whatever you want, carrots and kale and microgreens, and give you a price. It might be a little higher than getting the CSA share. So, but it's still an option.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's great to know because
Yeah.
I did really enjoy it. They're organic, they're great.
Yeah, this is Sue. Yeah, Upswing too. And the you can go by there at like 3:30 to 5:30 now on Thursdays, and then, but check out the website. People who are in or around Pepperell. It's a really great place. And they're a young family with a 4.5-year-old son. They're so, they're so amazing.
They're really nice. They're great people, and it's good to support them as they're, building their farm. They do a great job.
So Sue, they still do retail now during the winter on Thursdays?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
It's Jeannie again. I stopped by there last Thursday and I spoke to Kevin. Nobody was around, and he said they're finished the growing season. So they're not
Oh.
growing anything now, they're done. But there was something on Chronicle that talked about winter vegetables. So you could maybe, Google that in the area. I thought Westford had a greenhouse that was growing winter vegetables. So something to check
Upswing
into.
is doing winter vegetables too. It's every other week. The share
Oh.
is every other week, and so you pick up vegetables every other week. So definitely check out, for folks that haven't tried Upswing, the Upswing link is in the website. Yeah,
Thanks, Sue.
or in the chat.
Great. Excellent.
Outstanding. All right, cool. I'm game.
Just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
All
Thank
right.
you, Lynn.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you letting me speak and just giving my spiel.
Thank
Yeah,
you very
it's been an
much.
absolute pleasure having you. Absolute pleasure. And I know that I've definitely learned a ton tonight. And yeah, I think what I'll do, unless you're opposed, I'll just send the replay out. Actually, I'll wait and see if you want to throw a list together.
I'll try to do that. Yeah, I'll try to do
Yeah.
that for you, get it out to you so you can
in
send
the
that.
next day or two. I mean, you don't have to drop everything, and but yeah, that'd be perfect. And then I'll get the replay together and shoot everybody an email with that.
Excellent.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Lynn.
everyone.
Wonderful.
Bye.
All
Appreciate
right. Bye everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks. Lynn.
Bye.
Bye.